The Angel Who Walked Route 66, a 30-minute American Thanksgiving miracle. Close your eyes for just a second and imagine a cold November night on the old Route 66. Snow is starting to fall on an empty desert highway in Arizona. A single pair of headlights cuts through the darkness. Inside that old pickup truck sits a girl who has lost everything, except one impossible hope. This is the true story, or at least the story people still whisper, of the angel who walked Route 66 the week of Thanksgiving, 2023, and how she saved an entire town with nothing but a guitar, a borrowed coat, and a voice that sounded like heaven itself. They called her Angelie. Chapter 1. The Night She Appeared. It began in Seligman, Arizona, mile marker 139 on historic Route 66, the kind of tiny town where the only traffic light blinks yellow all day long. On November 19, 2023, the temperature dropped to 14 degrees. The only gas station in town, Delgadillo's Snowcap Drive-In, had just closed for the season. Everyone was battening down for a hard winter. Old Mr. Delgadillo was locking up when he saw her for the first time. A young woman walking east along the shoulder of the road, barefoot in the snow, wearing nothing but a thin white dress and an oversized denim jacket 2 sizes too big. She had long silver blonde hair that caught the moonlight like fiber optic strands. And on her back, people swear this part is true, were the faint outlines of wings, like frost patterns on glass. Mr. Delgadillo rolled down his window. "You'll freeze out here, mija. Get in. I'll take you to the diner." She smiled, and the air warmed 10 degrees. She said, "I'm looking for someone who's lost. I walk until I find them." She refused the ride. She simply kept walking east, leaving no footprints in the snow. Chapter 2. The Broken Town of Willow Creek. 300 miles later, just over the New Mexico border, lies Willow Creek. Population 312, down from 1,200 in the 1950s. The railroad left, the interstate bypassed them, then the drought came. By Thanksgiving week 2023, the town was dying. The only school was closing. The bank had foreclosed on half the houses. Worst of all, little Ellie Mae Carter, 8 years old, red curls, freckles like cinnamon, had been diagnosed with a rare heart condition. Her family couldn't afford the surgery in Albuquerque, 180 miles away. The whole town took up a collection jar at the diner, but it barely reached $4,000. They needed $180,000. Thanksgiving Eve, the power went out across Willow Creek because the electric co-op couldn't pay its bill. Families sat in the dark, eating cold canned beans by candlelight. Ellie's father, Tom Carter, a mechanic who hadn't had steady work in 2 years, stood on his porch and looked up at the stars. That's when he heard the singing. A single voice drifting across the frozen cotton fields. Clear, pure, impossible. It was Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but slower, sadder, like Judy Garland herself had come back to apologize for every broken promise America ever made. Tom followed the voice. Half the town did. They found her standing in the middle of the abandoned Route 66 gas station, barefoot again, strumming a beat-up guitar that definitely hadn't been there an hour earlier. She finished the song. Silence fell like fresh snow. Ellie's mother, Sarah, was the first to speak, tears freezing on her cheeks. Who are you?" The stranger smiled the same smile Mr. Delgadillo had seen 300 miles west. "People call me Angelie. I was told someone here needed a miracle before Thanksgiving dinner." Chapter 3. The 24-hour Miracle Café. Angelie didn't ask permission. She simply walked into the boarded-up Route 66 diner, flipped the closed sign to open, and started cleaning. Dust flew off the counter like it was afraid of her. The old jukebox flickered, then played Louis Armstrong without being plugged in. Word spread faster than Wi-Fi ever had in Willow Creek. By midnight, every soul in town was crammed into that diner. Angelie cooked. Nobody saw where the food came from, but suddenly there were steaming plates of turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce made from berries that hadn't grown in New Mexico in 50 years. She served every person herself, looking each one in the eye. When she reached Ellie, the little girl was wrapped in 3 blankets, blue lips trembling. Anjali knelt, placed her hand over Ellie's heart, and whispered something no one else could hear. Ellie's cheeks turned pink instantly. Then, Anjali stood on a chair and spoke only 7 sentences. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Tomorrow, this diner will be open exactly 24 hours. Anyone who walks through that door must bring one thing: a story. Tell your true story, no matter how painful, and leave whatever cash you can spare in the jar by the register. At closing time tomorrow, we will count what's there. If it's enough for Ellie's surgery, she flies to the hospital the next morning. If it isn't, I'll still be grateful I got to eat with you. Then, she started singing again, and nobody wanted to leave. Chapter 4: The Night of 1,000 Stories. Thanksgiving Day 2023. The snow stopped at dawn. The temperature rose to 68 degrees. Nobody could explain it. The lines started forming at 5 a.m. People drove from Albuquerque, Santa Fe, even Tucson when the story hit local radio. Truckers pulled off I-40 just to see if the rumors were true. One by one, they told their stories. A Vietnam vet who hadn't spoken about the war in 50 years broke down describing the friend he couldn't save. He emptied his wallet, $87. A teenage girl confessed she was running away that night until she heard the singing. She put in her college savings, $1,200. An old Navajo woman told of losing her language, then sang a blessing in Dene Bazad that made everyone cry. She left a turquoise ring worth thousands. A tech millionaire from California passing through on a road trip heard the story on a podcast, drove 6 hours, and wrote a check for $100,000 without saying a word. Between stories, Anjali played her guitar. Every song felt written for the person listening. When a widowed farmer spoke of loneliness, she sang Bridge Over Troubled Water. When a young couple confessed they were about to lose their home, she sang Lean on Me. By 10 p.m., the jar, and the counter, and the floor was overflowing. Chapter 5: The Final Song. At 11:58 p.m., Angela climbed onto the counter one last time. The diner fell silent. Outside, the northern lights, yes, the actual Aurora Borealis, 1,500 miles south of where they belong, danced green and purple across the sky. She spoke softly. You didn't just save Ellie tonight, you saved each other. That's how miracles work in America. They're never from one angel. They're from all of us deciding to be angels for one day. Then she sang one last song, an original nobody had ever heard before or since. The lyrics went like this: I walked your roads with frozen feet, carried your pain down every street. But you were the wings I needed most. On the mother road I found my ghosts, and let them go. When the final note faded, the jukebox played itself one more time, Amazing Grace. Everyone looked up, and Angela was gone. The only trace, a single white feather on the counter, and on the chalkboard behind the register, written in perfect cursive, Thank you for letting me celebrate Thanksgiving with family. The bill is paid in full. Keep the light on for the next traveler. Angela. Epilogue. Where is she now? Ellie's surgery was the next morning. She's 12 now, plays soccer, and still has the white feather taped inside her guitar case. The diner never closed again. They renamed it Angela's 66 Café, and every Thanksgiving they repeat the 24-hour tradition. Tell a story, leave what you can, feed whoever walks in. And sometimes, late at night, truckers on CB radio swear they see a woman walking east along the shoulder. Barefoot, white dress glowing under the moon. always heading toward the next town that's forgotten how to hope. If you're ever driving Route 66 and you see her, slow down. Roll down your window. Because the angel who walks Route 66 never stops looking for the next broken heart that needs reminding. In America, miracles still happen. One story, one song, one open door at a time. If you felt something while listening to this story, do me a favor, share it with someone who needs to hear it tonight. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and next week, we'll tell another true angel story from across the USA. This is USA Angel. See you down the road.